Being Asian, Asian female going to Eastern Kentucky back in late 1970s, all the male student athletic trainers would not give me the time of day. They would not even let me, I'm like, here, I'll help you, fill up the coolers, I'll get ice, whatever. And it was pretty much, no, you don't do anything. Hi, my name's Hazel Ando, and I am at UC Santa Barbara as the administrative assistant to our director, as well as the insurance coordinator. So I work with the athletics training staff with all the billing. So my first exposure to athletic training was at when I started at Long Beach State, 1973, and then so there was a woman named Mary, and she would tell us that we had to get our ankles taped. It's like, okay, you go into the so-called athletic training room, the women's, which was the closet for the janitors in the small gym at Long Beach State. So we would go in there and get taped, and then found out, oh, this is her job. The thought of the profession of athletic training was something I looked into and then obviously pursued at Long Beach State. And then my last semester with the program, I was back at Long Beach State working with men's volleyball. Unfortunately, back then did not get to travel with the team, but it was just one of those experiences that making that connection with one team and being their athletic trainer was a great experience. And then from there, went on to graduate school at Eastern Kentucky University. I did take my certification exam once I got to Kentucky during a winter storm, and had to go up to Cincinnati, minus 30 degrees, but took the test and luckily was able to pass it. At that time, my head athletic trainer at Eastern Kentucky was Bobby Barton, who was the president of the NATA. So, asking Bobby, when should I come out? He told me when two-a-days were starting, so I was there in time for the start of two-a-days football. The first home football game, which at Eastern Kentucky, it's a big thing. They fill the stadium. So I get a call about 2 hours before I have to be at the athletic training room to get football ready. And Dr. Barton informs me he got the approval for me to be on the football field. And I was confused, like, Dr. Barton, what do you mean? I've been working, covering practice. Well, we've never had a female work football before. So the dean of athletics, the president of the school, and the head football coach has approved you to be there. I'm like, what? I was shocked, but then I realized that's why the male student athletic trainers, it wasn't because they didn't like me, it was they never worked with a female before. I do give Dr. Barton credit that he never told me. There's probably high expectations being a female and working. Glad it happened, and I'm glad I was the one in a way where I didn't fight it because I didn't know any better. And even when the times where I wasn't treated the best, I just thought, you know what? I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm just going to do my best and work as hard as I can to prove that I can do the job. The department, the Eastern Kentucky Athletic Department, the university realized females need to have the exposure of working with co-ed sports. So I don't think it was that hard. It was just trying to be professional and doing the job was my main concern. Title IX isn't something that in athletics that they really push to institute for all the female athletes. So working with the women's athletic trainer at that time, Donna, we made sure that our female student athletic trainers had the experience. They would be scheduled, I can't remember the details, but we made sure they had rotations where they did work with the male sports and not just strictly females. And that really, I think, was one of the stepping stones, I think, trying to get everything working out for the female athletes as well. And looking back, the experience there was great because I was exposed to the NATA, the work that Dr. Barton was doing. I met many people at the NATA office. Back then was in North Carolina, and I got to meet many of the people that were there, and as well as Bobby's connections to several of the district directors. And for me, what gave me the kick in the butt to say, okay, when I can, I should try to volunteer somehow for our profession. And then that's how I got involved back when I got back to California. Back in the 80s, I was the CATA secretary for many years, then CATA president. Once I completed my terms there, served one term as SWATA secretary, and then moved on to help with the annual meeting committee as well as the honors and awards committee. So I think the journey while we go through our career as athletic trainers, you meet so many people that touch your life. Julie Max comes into mind. You know, just the way she presented herself in as she became our NATA president, that was just amazing. And Andy Pollan, who is a good friend, and just his attitude and just his professionalism. Robert Kersey, Bill Chambers, which many of you know. So some really good friends and colleagues throughout these years.